So, I wrote a book. It's called On My 16th Year, I Found Myself in Love with the Sky. And I will try to tell you a bit about it, well, hopefully not getting ran over. So I started writing this book over a year ago in April of last year. It was for a present for a friend of mine because she liked poetry. And so I thought, you know what, her birthday is coming up, I'm gonna write some poetry. It started out just as one poem, then as a collection. And then eventually I found that what I was writing was not merely a disconnected scrap of writing, but it was a book. It was taking shape and taking form. Well, our friendship eventually ended, rather painfully, but I found that I still wrote. Because it had ceased to be a gift for her, but rather writing for myself. It became a sort of therapy for me. And while I wrote, with the goal in mind of writing 31 poems for every day of the month, and that is what completion would be to me, that is what it would mean to be finished, I inadvertently created a sort of time capsule of my feelings of that year. Because I wrote from my heart, I wrote about what I was thinking about what I was feeling, tried to put to words these emotions that seldom get the chance to be put into words. And looking back, it's almost like I crystallized my inner world of my 16th year. And it's become very valuable to me. I didn't realize it at the time quite how much it would be, but that crystallization, that preservation of my inner world is honestly invaluable, I believe. I think so often we find in memory that we lose empathy for our past selves. Because you think of that struggle that you had as a kid, you think of the heartbreak you experienced as a teenager, and in retrospect and in perspective, it doesn't feel like that much because you've grown past it. And while that is good, I still think it's a bit tragic because the pain of our past selves is just as real as the pain of our present. They suffered in a very real way. They suffered for us to be here now. And yet we lose empathy for that because it is in the past. It is memory. So I think in a very real way, these poems manage to navigate away from that weakness of memory. They preserved my past self in ways that the fog of memory never really can. They preserved my pain, but they also preserved what I learned from that pain. And that's something that I'm also really proud about this book, is that, yes, it is a story of 1 year, of my 16th year, of the trials and tribulations therefore, but it's so much more than that. It can be read as a year, as a lifetime, or as a universe. I think while all the emotions that I write about are very, very personal to me, they're also universal. They strike on something that we all feel, even if we're not necessarily sure how to talk about it. We all feel lonely, we all feel infatuated with love, we all lose, we all grieve that loss. Every one of us. That's universal. And I think if you read my work, it will make you feel. It might break your heart a little bit, but in the end, it'll offer you a truth that you're not alone. I wasn't alone a year ago when I was grieving the loss of someone that I cared about, because we've all done that, and we all will. Just because I've grown past it doesn't mean it's meaningless now, or that it's unreal. It is still just as real. And the poems of On My 16th Year, I Found Myself in Love with the Sky, prove that. That while we live our lives in a world outside our mind, the world inside is just as tangible. It's published. It will be released July 22nd, and it's available for pre-order now if you go down to the link in the description. If that sounds interesting to you, I hope you'll give it a read. Bye!